Thank you, Attorney Cecil. Good morning, everyone. When we started looking into Islamic finance many years ago in the Philippines, one of the questions that keep coming back all the time was, is there really a demand here? This is a very common question. I have been exposed to multiple markets in the world where Islamic finance has been new, and this question has always been asked. So what we did was, at ADB, we decided to take the bull by its horns in order to help the market players and the stakeholders in making informed decisions based on empirical evidence and the scientific research. So that's what we did. In 2023, we commissioned a local Filipino market research company who was specialized, and we helped them develop a methodology and questionnaire and a framework for conducting this qualitative and quantitative research, including 500 interviews that were based on quantitative survey, but also focus group discussions. The sample that we took was mainly Muslims, Filipinos, and of course coming primarily from the southern regions where the higher number of Muslims reside. But we also included Metro Manila and some other parts of the Philippines. But what's more important is actually that we also included non-Muslim Filipinos as well, as Attorney Cecil has already mentioned, and the previous esteemed speakers as well, that Islamic finance is inclusive. It's not for Muslims only, it's for everyone. So we wanted to make sure that there is a representation of the entire population. So this study was conducted in a very professional way, and the very detailed results and data is actually provided in the report. The hard copies are provided on your tables, and there will be a copy of a digital copy of the report as well that will be available to you. So this is where we have actually conducted the survey and the research. So first thing was assessing the interest level in Islamic finance, and what we did was we segmented the sample into two. So there were retail customers and there were also business owners, business clients. That primarily included MSME customers, but also some medium and a couple of large enterprises as well, corporates as well. So we tried to take a whole range of samples so that we can have a bigger picture. So the level of interest, as you see here on the screen, it was actually 78% among the retail customers, and it was 88% even higher among the business customers. Now that was very reassuring as a start. However, when we drilled deeper, because it wasn't just a simple question whether you want Islamic finance or you don't, or simple things like that, we actually tried to segment the questions and to drill deeper in order to extract the best information available. And the purpose of this information was actually to help the market players, especially the private sector players, to make informed decisions about this strategic move, whether they want to embrace Islamic finance, whether they want to offer something like this to their customers or not, and on what basis. So we wanted to enable them. This is an enabling study. So we also drilled down to have exact level of interest in specific type of products as well. So the savings accounts by retail customers, as you can see, the level of interest is very high. Now, another important and interesting factor here is actually that we also segmented the sample into 4 groups. And the groups that you see here on the screen, they are modernist, so who are Muslims, but consider themselves as more liberal, meaning, probably less religiously practicing, but of course, they have the belief, the faith. Then we have the resigned group, which is, sort of moderate. Then we have skeptical conservatives who are very strictly, religiously practicing, and they have their own traits and, and I will tell you a little bit more about that. But then also the 4th group was actually the non-Muslims as well. So as you see on the screen on both sides, that the level of interest for Islamic savings accounts or the liability products, this is actually quite variable among these groups. But overall, we actually have a very good picture where the total is above 80% of them are interested in these liability products and the saving accounts. Then when it comes to financing products, so the assets for the retail client segment again, so you see that again the pattern is almost very similar to the liability side, but still the overall interest is actually still above 80%. Now in both cases, as you can see, there is this sorry, there's a little bit of discrepancy. Sorry. So yeah. So here you have the four groups, and you can see that the levels of interest in both sides, asset side and liability side, is actually quite similar in all these groups. But the main part here are two things to be noted. First, the interest from the non-Muslims. So it's still pretty high, and this is actually very encouraging, and it gives us that feeling that Islamic finance is being seen actually as an inclusive offering, and it will be taken also by the non-Muslims. So the overall average of the entire groups is around 80% for both assets and liabilities. So the variation will be among how interested they are, very interested, or a little bit less interested, but the level of interest is still very high. Then we also investigated about the products that they would like to use. And here you see, among the retail clients, the staggering majority, 79%, and the majority of them are actually modernist, they are asking for savings accounts. So they are actually looking for savings accounts. Then there is business loan, health medical insurance, personal loan, e-wallets, investments, etc., life insurance, and so on. So this is actually a reflection of the products that they will be looking for when these products they become available in the market. Then the next one was the same question about the interest in specific products among the business customers. And here what we see, quite astonishing, is actually that there is 100% of the sample needs a business credit card. Now, when we drill down, in our qualitative discussion, it turned out that they see a business credit card as a tool or as an instrument for their working capital finance, right? So this all relates to this MSME factor that Attorney Cecil, mentioned earlier, that there is a big gap in SME funding, and people are looking for opportunities. Then similarly, there is also very high demand for vehicle insurance for business, employee benefits via smart apps, property insurance for business, savings account, business loan, etc., and so on and so forth. So as you can see that, among the business customers as well, the demand for specific products is very high. Now, that was just one part of the research. That was just gauging their level of interest and the specificity of the products that they will be looking at. But there was an emotional side of the research as well, and that is about the prohibition of interest. Now, why would they be interested in Islamic finance? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me do a little detour here, from the presentation. For the benefit of those who are not very familiar with Islamic finance, let me give a very brief 30-second introduction. So Islamic finance, unlike conventional finance, does not allow giving or taking of interest. So interest is prohibited in the Islamic law, just as it has been prohibited in the former and the other Abrahamic religions as well, including Christianity and Judaism. So today, while the majority of the world population has actually embraced interest as the day-to-day tool, financing tool, the Muslim world is still trying to abstain from it and remaining true to the teachings. So they are trying to come up with something that is different, and hence the modern Islamic finance is actually based on risk and reward sharing, where no interest is paid or received, but instead the financial institutions, they operate in a different way. They operate in, they engage in real economic activity with the retail customers, with the business customers, and they offer financial products that are structured on the basis of risk and reward sharing of participatory nature. They also do buying and selling of assets with profit instead of interest. So it's a different way of doing things to achieve the same objectives, which is fulfilling a population's legitimate financial needs. So hence, the issue of prohibition of interest, that was actually one of the, the key questions, and we wanted to assess that how sentimental people are, and how much they agree, how much they are aware of this prohibition. And to no surprise, as you can see here, the majority of the, the retail clients, they are fully aware of the fact that, interest is prohibited, and they shall stay away from it. They shall not engage in it. Now, of course, if we ask them, and we did ask them some questions about it, and it's in the research, that if they have enough knowledge of the financial products, the alternatives or the Islamic products available, that knowledge will be very little. So they don't know a lot. But they all know and they all agree that, prohibition of interest is something important for them, and, they need to observe this in their daily life. So this is, their reflection on the, the prohibition of interest. Also, we try to assess the understanding of how do they see the prohibition of interest. Is it, do they think it's prohibited under all circumstances or under certain circumstances, or is it allowed under circumstances? So all these, all this data is also there. Now, one of the questions arising was that when they know that there is a prohibition of interest, what exactly are they doing now? So what are the financial arrangements or the relationships that they have with financial institutions right now? Are they consuming any products? And if they are, then what exactly are those products? And what is their feeling about, what is their sentiment or emotion about, consuming those products? So as you can see here, on the bottom side of the, the slide, you see that, almost 1/3 of them, they are saying, these products are prohibited completely and I don't consume them at all. Meaning that almost 1/3 of the sample is actually sitting out and is not included in the financial system. Now, this is something that is not good at all for the economy and is not good, for anyone. Also, another 1/3 almost is saying that, the products are prohibited because they're based on interest. However, I'm using them because I don't have a choice. So here also there is a feeling of constraint, there is a feeling of discomfort, and there is another 24% who is also saying the same thing in a different way, that the products that I'm consuming, they may be prohibited, but I have to live my life. So what do I do in this modern day and age? I have no choice. I have to compromise my faith to fulfill my financial needs. And of course, what does it mean is that if the same people, they have the choice to fulfill their financial need in a way that is actually in line with their faith, then of course it's a no-brainer for them, and they will definitely come for it. So as you can see, there are only 14% of the sample who are saying it's not important for them. 86% here is saying that we are either not consuming these products, or we are doing them with a discomfort and a feel of guilt that this is not the right thing. So a similar type of observation was made among the business clients as well. So as you can see, with the very little difference in the ratios, but it's almost a similar segmentation that you see, that the majority of the people are either not consuming, or they are consuming it with displeasure and with the the sense of guilt. So what it means is that this non-consumption, the sitting out, or the the element of discomfort is actually the driver for these people to go and to take Islamic financial products and services as soon as they become available. Now, there is a lot more information that is available, and a lot of data is actually provided in the study that we have, and this is, again, as I mentioned, to enable the market players to to do their own assessment, and to do their own studies, and make the strategic decisions if they would like to engage in Islamic financial markets and so on. One of the key elements that came out also of the research was actually the digitalization trend. Now this population, the sample, is actually very, very highly tech savvy, I would say. And as you can see in 2024, around 60 to 75% of them are actually consuming digital products, meaning that they have smart devices, they have access to the internet, and they are using applications, digital applications, and they are using different services that are offered. And this, the estimation is that in 2025, next year, within a space of next year, this penetration will go up to 90%, possibly 80 to 90%. This is exceptionally high compared to many other countries that I have actually seen. And this is something very important for the market players, because those of you who would want to venture into Islamic finance in the Philippines, this is actually a key element, a key information for you, because having these people tech savvy and having them very digital consumers, you have a possibility of accessing this market in a very different way. So we are not talking about the traditional brick and mortar branches here that will require a lot of capital tied up, and it will increase your operational expenditure, and so on and so forth. We are talking about here the possibility of accessing this market and reaching these customers through digital channels, which is much easier, it's much more cost efficient, and it's very easy route to market as well. So the time to market is also much shorter. So this is also something that needs to be considered carefully, and it shall be part of I think the strategic consideration that is required for any decisions at the corporate level. Now, before I finish my part of the presentation, or this part of the presentation, I would like to highlight an important event that has taken place. That was in the end of year 2023, last year, when the Philippines saw its first sovereign sukuk. Sukuk is an Islamic bond. It's an equivalent of bond that is Sharia compliant, and it's actually quite much in vogue these days in the whole world. The first issuance of $1 billion was very successfully subscribed. I was actually 5 times oversubscribed, and within a space of a few hours, it was snapped by the investors from around the world, and it's listed on Nasdaq Dubai. And this is how the Treasury has actually raised $1 billion of funds for use of the government use. Now, this is a big event. I'm not sure how many people in the room have actually been aware of this, but let me tell you something. This is a very strong message that has gone out to the international markets, that the Philippines is very serious about Islamic finance. And it just happened to be that last night I attended a board meeting online with one of our clients, who is a Saudi conglomerate, a very big Saudi company. And it turned out in the conversation that actually, this Saudi company has already invested in this sukuk. So they actually have a few millions of holdings in this sukuk. So this means that the Saudi money has, flown into the Philippines. And in case of, future issuances, I hope there will be many, we can actually expect a lot of, foreign direct and indirect investment coming through this. So this is business, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to thank the Bureau of Treasury and all the other stakeholders, and especially the former, treasurer, Ms. Mam Rosalia, who has been actually instrumental, to this. So here I will hand over to Assistant Governor Attorney Arifa to take you through all the support that the BSP and all the stakeholders have actually provided so far, and what else is in the pipeline. So Attorney Arifa, thank you.